What's going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Exploring Comics. Today we will be exploring the history of ScareCrow. Now, this is one of my favorite Batman villains since I was a little kid, and when this one came up on my list, I was like, we're doing the ScareCrow. So let's jump right into him. So ScareCrow's been around for a long time. He would first appear in 1941 in World's Finest Comics number 3. He is one of the earliest villains for the Dark Knight. We would only see one more appearance of the ScareCrow around that time period. That would be in Detective Comics number 73. And then it would be over 20 years until we would see anything from this character ever again. Seems kind of a waste for such a cool idea of a character. But besides that, let's talk about his origin. Jonathan Crane is the real name of the ScareCrow. His original origin shows that he was a professor of psychology, and he was fired from his job for shooting a gun in class to teach his students the real meaning of fear. What a crazy bastard. After he lost his job, he would actually snap completely and become the ScareCrow. In this incarnation, he was not using his fear toxin, he was using a gun. So we would get a full expanded version of his origin in Batman ScareCrow Year 1. With no love from his mother and his father not even in the picture, he was forced to live with his religious zealot grandmother, who is crazy. This woman treats this child so bad. She is so horrible to Jonathan Crane. She even traps him in an abandoned church and has crows attack him to punish him. Where in the hell is Child Protective Services when this shit's going on? So one time when Crane was sneaking around his grandmother's house, when he saw her working on something and he realized it was his suit that he was going to wear Sunday, she was putting chemicals on there to attract crows. She wanted the crows to attack him. She meant for that to go down. This right here is where he just got pissed. He snapped. Something in his mind snapped too at this point because he wanted to learn all he could about chemistry and do something even worse to her. There was a room in her house that he was not allowed to enter. So one time he broke the hell in there and he found a library where he actually stole some books so he can learn all he could about chemistry and all different sciences, that he can finally be someone, not be afraid. With the knowledge he gained from these books, he's actually able to make a mixture very similar to what his grandma does, the crows in the church, but he actually wants to test it on someone else. He decided to test it on the school bully. Let's just say after the test, the bully is left half blinded. That's how intense this shit was. It got a bird to attack this bully and half blind him. If the bully found out about his involvement, he would just beat him up anyways. But this is when he knew that he needed to work on more powerful mixtures. He needed to really flex his power. This would eventually lead to him killing his grandmother. This is also when he realized he loved the feeling that he got when he scared people. So that's what he wanted to do, scare people. I mean, it really got him jacked up. He would attend Gotham University and would take the psychology professor as his mentor and would train under him the whole time he was attending school. But he decided once he was ready to graduate, he wanted to take over as the psychology professor. But with that position filled, there's no way he can get a spot in the school. This is at the point when Crane develops his iconic fear gas. He douses his mentor with the fear gas, the man's worst fear of drowning and floods taking him out, to come to life. The man climbs to the roof of the school, and with some coaching from Crane, he actually convinces his mentor to dive off, now opening a position for a professor. Just like his original origin, once he is a professor, he does pull a gun out in class once again. This time when he shoots it off, he actually grazes a student, so he's instantly fired because of this. This is when he would actually go after the dean and the rest of the board for firing him, and what he would do is use his fear toxin. This is actually the case that leads Batman to start following him when he kills the dean and all his colleagues. So these murders did definitely put him in the crosshairs of Batman, the world's greatest detective. Using his detective skills, he eventually is able to deduce that Jonathan Crane is the ScareCrow. But the New 52, once again, would come on in and wipe everything out. Let's start over. In this origin, Dr. Crane, Jonathan's father, would actually lock him in the basement with a bunch of crazy, scary objects, bodies, and dummies, and perform fear experiments on his son. One time, while he was doing this, he left his son locked in there, and Jonathan's father died. In doing so, Jonathan stayed in the basement, freaking out for days until his father's body is finally discovered and Jonathan is released. Being down there probably fucked the kid up. So the same way it went from there. His dad died, Jonathan went through foster care and everything, and then would eventually become a professor and would be fired this time for not bringing a gun to school, but for throwing a box of spiders on a co-ed. He would be terminated this time, yet turning him into the ScareCrow. What'd you guys think about the origin and history of Jonathan Crane, the ScareCrow? Let me know down in the comments down below. Who's your favorite Batman villain? Is he even on your list? Let me know who you'd like to see next down in the comments down below. Make sure you guys like this video and make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the other videos we do every day, guys. And next, we will be doing the history of Bishop. Make sure you tune in next time so you can check out the history of Bishop right here on Exploring Comics, and I will see you next time.